This episode is brought to you by Sevish's Blessing and the generous supporters over at the Now and Zen Patreon account. We apologize for the distortion on Steven's mic in this one, as he had turned it up for a quiet instrument and forgotten to turn the level back down on the Zoom call, which doesn't give any indicators of clipping. Hello and welcome to Now and Zen. Today on the podcast, we have Tolgahan Çoğulu, and he has just released something called the Automatic Microtonal Guitar, or he's got a video of it on his channel. So, would you care to explain how that works?
Yeah, thanks, Steven, for inviting me again. So nice to be back here, which is my favorite podcast, as I always say. And to be honest, when you stopped doing this, I was so sad.
Oh,
Trying to find different podcasts during my daily joggings. But now I see that you're back, so it's great, and I hope you will continue this forever.
great. I will try my darndest.
Yeah, so going back to the automatic microtonal guitar. Yeah, so this was a project since 2014. When I got the first prize at Georgia Tech with my adjustable microtonal guitar in 2014. After a few months, I got it in February, and in May, I sent my first email to my mechatronics engineer friends about this project. You know, it's so a basic idea. I was moving my frets manually since 2008. So, of course, moving them automatically was a very simple idea. And so we started in 2014. And it was such difficult years, like 7 years has been so difficult in many ways. We tried many designs. We failed a lot of times. Many people entered the project, but then gave up. So yeah, I can tell you the details, but it was so difficult until I found Selçuk Keser, who's a great engineer and maker, and who did this great guitar.
Great. So really, the way I was seeing the videos on your channel, I almost thought that you had thought of the Lego microtonal guitar and then you had thought of the automatic microtonal guitar, but really it's more like the automatic microtonal guitar has been in the works for years and it's just such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, Lego microtonal guitar just popped up in between. The automatic and adjustable, thanks to my son, Atlas. So it was a surprise. It was a very surprise project for us. So we were so lucky to finish it during our way towards automatic microtonal guitar. Coming back to the automatic one, of course, in 2014, the idea was the mixer, the studio mixer desk. You know, when you save a preset, it moves. So you know, we started with that idea, but then because of the space, limited fretboard neck space, we couldn't proceed, and then we switched to up and down vertical movement. So we progressed a little bit about that up and down movement. By the way, that vertical movement can still be done. So, I hope there will be some other research centers, some universities, or some PhD students who could try that design as well. Because, I always think maybe there might be like automatic microtonal guitar design competitions.
That'd be great.
With the advances of the technology, in an ideal world, in the microtonal world, because, the nanotechnology, the 3D printing technology, and the very small motors, there can be great designs. Anyway, Then we switch back to the horizontal movement, and Selçuk thinks about finding servo motors, and he 3D printed small modules, and he placed these motors inside. Then, he succeeded in moving it very quickly, because the speed was our biggest challenge during the 7 years. We tried many designs which were too slow.
Right.
Yeah, you can change the tuning in a minute. So,
right.
That's not good. But now Selçuk's design is awesome, in 2 seconds.
Yeah, because the fret slides right over, right? In the video, the fret just goes whoop, and it's just right there.
Exactly, to the location you want, to the precise location you want. So it's, I think now, the ideal design, in my opinion. Then, of course, the other problem was the guitar neck. So, we cut a groove along the neck, and we were afraid about the tension. So, we just tried 2 strings. But now, of course, we have a long way to go by placing, for example, 100 modules, 100 motors, designing our own PCB, designing our Arduino, and then see what the guitar reacts. So if it's gonna, maybe break away or, pops up, we don't know. So as I told in the video, we are looking for a sponsor to complete this guitar. We will see. Some of my friends, ask me some questions about, how much you want, what are your needs. But it's a difficult world. You have a Patreon account as well. I have a Patreon account older than yours, and it's always around 30 to 40 people for me.
Yeah.
So it's a very moderate donation for me, just to sponsor the free fretlets that I've been distributing across the globe for 6 years. So it just covers that. And maybe it also covered some of the automatic microtonal guitar costs, because our grant from the Istanbul Technical University, after a while, it finished.
Right.
So, I used some of the Patreon money budget for that. Anyway, I'm so happy and relieved to present the first prototype.
Yes.
And I don't care if any other university, if any other PhD student or a guitarist complete it in Singapore or in Harvard, in whatever, I would be glad. It would be such a contribution to the microtonal music world.
It seems like we both have a really healthy mindset about that. It's like the fact that the ideas get done and that people can make more progress is more important than like whether we did it first. But it also helps that like there's not a lot of people doing these ideas, so it's kind of like the Wild West out there, where these ideas are here for the taking, and if you just think big and work really hard, you can get them done. So
exactly, I agree.
So with the automatic microtonal guitar, I saw, of course, in the video that you had like a 2-string version where one string was like the drone note, and then the other string has the microtonal, the automatic microtonal frets that you adjust. And for those of you that haven't seen the video, this is really an amazing achievement. The idea, of course, is that Tolgahan is playing a scale, and then he can press a little button, and the microtonal frets all move, and they change to a different microtonal scale. Now, are you planning to put that on all 6 strings of like a normal 6-string guitar then? Is that kind of the next step that you were referring to earlier?
Yes, actually, I can also now put the other 4 strings now at home. I was afraid of the tension, of course. I was afraid. But now that we have the video, and now we introduced our guitar to the world, Yeah, that's a good idea because I've already forgotten and I passed to my other projects and my other, videos and the arrangements. But you're right. Maybe I should try this and see what the bridge reacts and see, what will happen. And of course, but then we have to carve full grooves along the neck and maybe start inserting the modules. But I think it needs more planning, and also we are thinking about pitch detection technology, like just of course we know that Gibson has this automatic tuner, but maybe we press a fret and then the fret tunes itself. Like,
wow,
it detects the pitch, and but of course now I'm brainstorming, but that means you have to press all the frets like in a chromatic way,
right.
And then it will adapt itself. But also it's good. For example, you can have a mode like fine tuning mode. For example, you want to play in perfect 12-tone equal temperament, even that.
Boo.
And it's the frets correct itself, but then you can also apply this idea. You want to play 7 limit just intonation in C sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, then you press the button. The frets move in 2 seconds. Okay, you're ready. You play your piece, but then during the piece, if the open string is out of tune, like if it should be -6 cents, for example, the G string, and then you play it and maybe the string is new, and then it was flattened by 7 cents and it comes to 13 cents flat. Then when I press the G string frets, the frets move themselves automatically during the piece. I think this is pitch detection technology, and I think that might be the ultimate automatic microtonal guitar, the ideal one. Maybe next year, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20 years, who knows? But yes, as I told you at the beginning, this is endless with the technology advances. This is endless, and I think we will have also new automatic guitars maybe 100 years later again. So, that's very exciting.
That's great. Wow, that's really, really ambitious, and it's amazing how those errors can stack up on guitar, isn't it? Because if you have something like 6 cents, I mean, that's pretty little. But then if you just kind of keep extending that a bit more, like, if you've got something 14 cents out, that's as much as the 12-tone major third if you hold it. So you'd probably notice that in the right environment, especially like, with classical guitar playing. I'm curious about how the automatic microtonal guitar affects neck tension, because you've been talking about the tension, but I'm not sure I fully understand how tension is affected by the automatic microtonal frets.
I see. Maybe, it's heavier.
Right.
So, you have now, our servo motors are not that heavy. But,
right.
When you have 114, because, now we need this technology and we don't have it.
Right.
Our servo motors are like limited, they're just let's say they are 2 centimeters, and and they are not connected now. So what we really want to do is to eliminate the borders and treat it like as if we have one smooth line all along the string. Underneath the string, and then of course the ideal other design is some frets could be hidden underneath inside the modules, and just exactly like my adjustable guitars advantage, they can pop up whenever you need it, because as I told you maybe in the our first meeting in the podcast, the best advantage of my adjustable guitar against Lacottes, Friedrichs, and Vogts is whenever you need a fret, the channel is open, you insert it in 2 seconds, and you remove it. But the other guitars' channels are closed. So it is very impractical. You have to load the frets from the side, from the end of the fretboard over the guitar hole around the rosette. So that's completely impractical. So now, for example, in the prototype, I'm having some issues to play makam music because, I need at least 2 or maybe 3 frets, for example, in the second degree.
So you can get different shades.
So,
yeah.
Yes, so, I need 12 over 11. I need 11 over 10.
Yeah.
So for sure. So these are, I really need them to make, because, since 2008, I've developed some techniques to imitate long neck tambur, some Turkish makam music instruments by having, for example, 3 adjacent frets on the second degree, for example. Sometimes I am doing glissandos toward the tonic. Sometimes I am doing vibrato from starting from the middle fret, going to the left, then coming back. Sometimes the opposite direction. Sometimes doing these like a continuous mordant. So, I have 5 or 6 type of ornaments to give the taste, to give the flavor of the makams, which are very important, very crucial to play Turkish makam music. So that's why in the ideal design, I also need some frets coming up to the rail and then going left or right. So,
right.
Because, if you already have them ready by level up, so it's complicated. Like, my criticism against the fixed fretted microtonal guitars, they are difficult to play, to be honest. For example, 31 Ido guitar.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it's a very difficult to play that guitar. It's, let's say, player unfriendly. Because, whenever I want to play 31 Ido piece on my adjustable, I only move the frets I needed.
Yeah.
And then the other semitones stay in their places, which are also orienting you. So, and it is so easier to play. Those with the pitches that you only need to play for the specific piece. That's why when you increase the Ido number from 31 to like 43, 53, of course, 72 is not possible. 53 is an amazing system for playing Turkish makam music, but it's not possible, in my opinion, especially the higher registers. Anyway, so coming back to the automatic guitar, I don't want 3 more frets already up, ready to move, but it's gonna be hard to play. So my fretboard would look so messy, like like the guitar that I showed in my fixed fret microtonal guitar video. That's messed up guitar.
Right.
I want player-friendly fretboards. This is very important for the microtonal guitars.
This probably isn't a feasible solution, but the first thing I think of is like if you have a vertical fret that's popped out, and like other frets pop out, I wonder if popping out is less difficult than just like having the extra frets there, but then when they're not needed, they like fold down and then the side of them looks identical to the fretboard or something. I don't know.
I think it's also possible. So falling to the side, or they are already on the moving rail, but they are down. So
right.
Whenever you want, they are up and ready to move. Or as you say, they can fall to the side, as in the instrument canon, the levers. these are all possible. But now that we are talking about the details and we are talking about the ideal design of automatic, I'm getting more hopeless. Because, to be honest, this needs a huge funding.
Yeah.
Like, yes, at least like, let's say, at least $100,000. At least. The pitch detection, the perfect, because, the luthiers also should be involved in the project. Now, for example, in our project, we didn't have any luthiers. Like, we only have one to carve the groove. But then, it was like, we are trying to file our 3D printed frets. But, our frets should be metal, like the standard guitar frets.
Yeah.
Then, they should be shaved and carved, and, the bottom part should be removed, and the design should be made to insert them into the motors. So, it's crazy. Because, I've experienced so much difficulty, so much challenges during the 7 years, so much disappointments. To be honest, I feel like I'm a bit overwhelmed. And, I'm a guitarist, so I want to play the guitar and, create more and more pieces, produce more videos. And, so we are, to summarize it, to sum up, we are looking for our utopic, ideal sponsor, like a guitarist CEO who says, hey guys, I trust you. Here's $1 million. It is nothing for me, but you can write my name to the guitar history and, do whatever you want. We trust you. But
that'd be perfect.
But we know that this is utopic. Like, as you have like 50 Patreons and I have 40 Patreons, we know that this is utopic. So we will see what the fate will show. So now I give it to the fate, like the destiny.
Okay. Well, you heard him, everybody. With the fixed fret microtonal guitar that you had before, that concept works so well with the Lego microtonal guitar. And I was wondering about this because I couldn't quite figure out how the math would resolve in my head myself. The fact that the Lego microtonal guitar has like quantized rows of 1x1 bricks, how do you square that with the fact that on the strings themselves, the frets have to be at like slightly different mathematical positions? Are the Lego bricks with frets on them just like slightly offset for certain notes, or do you just approximate it to the quantized brick size? Like, how does that work?
Great question. In order for me to show this, I have to bring you some frets and some show you, okay? Here is the fretboard.
Oh, I love it.
As you know, so we first measured the 12 set semitones, right?
Right.
And they're here. Then we just, we think, okay, the Lego studs decide about the temperament. But with this fretlet design, so the bump is in the middle.
Yes.
Okay, now, for example, this is F sharp.
Yeah.
And you can remove this fretlet and insert. There are 3 locations. Then, these gives maybe 20 cents or 25 cents. I don't know. I can measure it later. But then, my friend and my duo partner, Sinan Ayıldız, great bağlama player, gives me a very simple idea. Why don't you put the bumps at the sides? Fretlets. So, you can use all opposite sides. So now the microtone is higher, and then when you move it around, now it's lower. So now we have, so coming back to the F sharp, we have 9 more, so 6 more microtones and 9 divisions.
Great.
Of course, and 9 Ido for the semitone. And of course, you can have, let me see, you can have the bumps in the middle, in between the middle part and the sides.
Oh, wow. So that would be 5 different for each one-by-one brick spot.
Exactly. So that's a great idea. And, now we can also play just intonation on the Lego guitar. So we can also play mean tone with these 3D printed, very cheap and very easy to be printed fretlets. But then these magical Lego bricks.
Yes.
Thanks to the YouTuber Simon the Magpie.
Yeah.
As I told everyone, we inspired him and he built amazing Lego base neck. And then we were inspired back from him because he showed us, why don't you use Lego bricks to make them fretless? And of course, it's amazing. So just to demonstrate this again, I take off the F sharp.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now it's just G.
Right, it's just a giant fret. Yeah.
Yes, and then I insert my fretless brick there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
oh, you get that lovely F half sharp, and then you can gliss on it.
yeah, exactly. So, I never tried this. So let's try this again. But I never tried this. So let me insert another one.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is the first time I'm trying this. Ooh. Oh, maybe some Indian.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And the best thing about this guitar, it is cheap. We start selling this guitar, and now we are building 5. We sent one to Kaki King, and she tried, and she loved that in New York. Then from New York, the guitar went to the LA. Went to LA to Mark Gergich, great guitarist, virtuoso, a friend of mine. So now Mark, is gonna play it for a couple months, and then we thought that guitar is the Lego guitar of the US.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to go to LA and or pays the transportation fee, shipping fee. So you can try. After months later. Anyway, and then we sent one to Sweden to YouTuber Lucas Brar, who is an amazing guitarist. His videos are amazing. He's one of the best, I think, classical guitar YouTubers, in my opinion. Anyway, and now I think he's producing one video because he interviewed us, me and Atlas, and I think he's gonna promote the guitar. Anyway, now we are building 5. So, if anyone is interested in this toy guitar, but which works really well, they can send me an email because, you can play some frets fretless, which is awesome. You can now, with these new fretlets, you can play any tuning you want in the most practical way. You prefer. So after a year, I'm so fond of this guitar. I wasn't expecting this performance.
Right, because I think with the Lego microtonal guitar, you've not only created something that's so visually novel and interesting that the internet can't help themselves. They just have to check it out. But you've also taken some guitar techniques that are normally separate and hybridized them. In particular, the fret and fretless concepts. Like, before you made the Lego Microtonal guitar and added the fretless frets, with Simon's inspiration, I would never have thought of having a guitar that has fretted portions and non-fretted portions. But it almost seems like the ideal solution for music like Macam, where certain scale degrees do have exact intonation, maybe perfect fourths or fifths. I don't know all the scales as well as you do. And then some degrees have, some areas of intonation that can be flexible based on either the nationality or the kind of Macam itself. And then when you're getting into those areas, you just have the fretless portions on those scale degrees. So it almost seems kind of perfect, really. It's amazing.
I totally agree. Yeah. So it's really working well. The only, I think, disadvantage is because it looks like a toy.
Right.
People maybe think, no, I'm a guitarist. I'm a professional guitarist. How can I have a toy? But now, now that I'm recording some Macam music, I recorded King Gizzard medley, like a mashup. I played 5, I think, King Gizzard arrangements.
Yeah.
I played a Greek tune. And we also, my student plays 18 scales. My son played King Gizzard's latest theme, the opening theme and the closing theme of KG and LW albums. It's really working. Like, I hope, the people start thinking, let's give it a try, and maybe we can also record this guitar.
If you wanted to make it seem less like a toy, one thing you could do, this brings up another interesting question, is you could make the actual Legos all uniform colors, like with the color design. So I love how you've got kind of the multicolored version. It makes me think that with the Lego Microtonal guitar, those Legos that you're using to build that first one, those were just actual Legos that you had around the house, right? I saw the video where you and Atlas were just picking Legos out of it just from your Lego bucket. So I think it's really cool that you didn't even have to specially print Legos or anything. All you had to do was come up with the blank fretboard, and then the Legos just filled themselves in, and it works out just fine with the physics and everything. Are those actually glued down, like the Legos? Are they glued down on the fretboard, or?
Some of them fits in perfectly, so you don't need to glue.
Wow.
But some of them, we glued some of them, but I think most of them fits in perfectly. Such mathematics of the Lego design, of course, and I agree with you. The two guitars that we had built have color codes. So yes, now we are putting some lively colors of Legos. And I think this can be for the new guitars as well, upcoming 5 guitars as well. Some rock musicians, famous rock musicians in Turkey, are interested in trying these Lego guitars.
Oh, yes.
We are planning to give them, to lend them, our guitars. So, they can try, and if they like, we can talk. So, yes, now, because, it's cheaper to build these, I am planning to build more. And yes, some people are interested in, and they are sending me emails. Now we are selling one for $600. How does it sound to you? Nylon string guitar with a Lego fretboard and, frets, and of course the Lego bricks as well inside.
Yeah, that's a good price. It's always surprised me that microtonal guitars are really rare, but there are they're on the expensive end for a guitar, but they're not insanely expensive. you know, the eBay stuff like, the Mick Jagger petted this guitar once in a club, so now it's $12,000. It's like microtonal guitars are like way below that. So we should definitely be encouraging people to buy them if they want to give that kind of stuff a try.
Yeah, and now that I think, I've been organizing the microtonal guitar competition.
Yeah.
And this year it's the 5th one, and the deadline is in 8 days, 28th of May.
Oh, great.
But we already received amazing applications, so I am so happy about the results. And I think I can announce that we are gonna have an award ceremony on 19th June, probably live from my YouTube channel.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and we will announce the winners, and we will invite the jury members. Maybe they will talk, and also we will show the videos of the winners.
Great.
So it's like the Oscars of Academy Awards of the microtonal guitar.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. Well,
Yeah, so I will announce that. Anyway, now that I think you can make your own arrangements and compositions on this nylon string Lego guitar, and apply to the microtonal guitar competition. So if you are a classical guitarist, and if you wanna apply to the competition in a very different tuning systems, which is so difficult to be made by attaching, taping the small fretlets on your guitar. So I think that now the Lego guitar is very ideal for those people.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out for those announcements that you mentioned. One more question about the automatic guitars, or automatic microtonal guitar, Lego guitar. So you've been talking about how these ideas will definitely enrich people's lives. Are you sort of focusing on one guitar idea more than the other? Are you placing like your priority and your stock sort of into the automatic microtonal guitar and letting the Lego microtonal guitar and the fixed fret guitar kind of take a back seat? Or do you want to kind of promote all the ideas equally?
Yes, good question. Yeah, it's weird. Like sometimes, my life routine. In my life routine, I think always the priority is on the adjustable microtonal guitar, because I think it's a perfect design to play any tuning system, and I think I made like 200 videos on that guitar, and I played just intonation, mean tone, quarter comma mean tone, 19 Ido, all Makam systems, Balinese, Gamelan, Peloxelisir scale. And I would like to play, of course, more when the composers compose for me. Anyway, and now we have focused on the production of the adjustable microtonal guitar, and trying to have it available to the world. Like it's been my dream for 13 years. I can say that we are close. We're gonna sell classical fretboards and electric necks, complete necks, and Lego guitar is going like whenever an idea comes to my mind, or during the education, like during my studies with my students, sometimes we use it, and I think to have a video about it. So, and of course the automatic guitar, now I gave my full energy in 2021, and now I'm relieved, and I'm not planning to give any energy until we found a grant.
Yeah.
So now, at the moment, my ratios are 80% adjustable, 10% Lego, 10% automatic. Last month, it was 90% automatic, 5% Lego, 5% adjustable. And if a project comes up with Lego, it can be vice versa in summer. Sometimes it's going crazy. Like sometimes there's simultaneously I play something on automatic. Then, I do this some fretless guitar video. But then, I have a video shooting on the adjustable. So it's sometimes crazy at home.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly things can change. And, I guess as non-Western styles become more popular, people will need the microtones and probably want to take a fretted approach. So I think we're both really excited for that to continue kind of growing in mainstream music.
I hope so.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being on this podcast again. We really loved having you, talking about the automatic microtonal guitar and the Lego microtonal guitar. This is Tolgahan Çoğulu. He has an amazing YouTube channel and does a lot of classical guitar, and, he invents things all the time, and he has a Patreon account.
Yeah, you already said everything about it, but just, the competition, microtonal guitar competition, the 5th International.
Yes.
We'll have a award ceremony on 19th of June. So please tune in. It will be live on my YouTube channel probably. And you already said I have an Instagram account.
Oh, yes.
So I am mostly active on YouTube and Instagram. But of course a little bit on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me again to my favorite podcast. I'm so honored to take part here again. I'm so happy. Thank you very much, Steven.
Well, we're so honored to have you. So yeah, all right. Adios.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Now and Zen. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed this episode featuring Tolgahan Çoğulu, creator of the adjustable fret microtonal guitar, the Lego microtonal guitar, and the automatic microtonal guitar. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share with your friends. And if you know someone who would like to sponsor the automatic microtonal guitar, or if you are that person yourself, please send Tolgahan an email at microtonalguitarist@gmail.com. Here at Now and Zen, we have some extremely special episodes planned for the near future, with time permitting. Now and Zen episodes won't be released regularly until we hit the 60 patron goal over at our Patreon, and we're only 15 away. If you feel inclined to support the show and other microtonal projects this way, it would be deeply, deeply appreciated. The link is in the description. At this time, before hitting the goal, we plan to release episodes sporadically, with some additional bonus episodes as well. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. We're also interested in your feedback as listeners. Now and Zen has tried a lot of different kinds of episodes, and it's hard to say which kinds work best. Your commentary could potentially help shape the future direction of the show. We're not sure what the next episode is, but we may have some releasing in June or July, and they will probably have to do with software, the Lumitone, arrangement, and or new albums, so stay tuned. Thanks so much to our patrons, our Zen Harmonic patrons, as well as our Zen Harmonic gods, Mike Battaglia, Sheldon Bird, Barry Lemon, Ari Cello, Adam Vrisi, Matthew Sheeran, Vincenzo Sicarella, Hector McGuffin, Christopher Bailey, Leland O. Weigel, Amy Coleman, Joe Weigel, and Tina Harmon Carteau. Catch you all next time on the podcast about microtonality, Now and Zen.